Now, earlier on the show today, I asked Counselor to the President, Alina Habba, what she thinks about Speaker Johnson possibly eliminating some federal courts which block President Trump's agenda. Here's what she had to say.
We're trying to do something in the executive branch, and all we're finding is rogue judges that are trying to stop it and go with one political message, which was not what was mandated by the American people. Do I think it's going to get backlash? Everything we do gets backlash. I stood with President Trump while they were going to war with him because they were trying to keep him out of running, and then he decided to run and they came down harder. They tried to put him in jail. All these judges are doing is looking for loopholes to stop the president's agenda, which is completely inappropriate. They're talking about separation of powers. Well, what about the executive branch's authority?
Well, former federal prosecutor Katie Cherkasy joins me now here in New York City. Katie, is eliminating some federal courts a good idea?
Well, whether it's a good idea, it is a possibility. So it's not a totally empty threat. Congress does have the authority over the lower federal courts. There have been reorganizations in the past, but not actually like total elimination. But I think it is important to highlight what I see as very abusive conduct of some of these lower court judges when we're talking about Article 2 powers, executive powers that should be deferred to the president. So I think that's the message. Is
it legitimate for the administration to pressure the legal system in this way? I mean, there's a New York Times columnist today saying he's declaring war on all our legal institutions.
Well, I don't see it that way. I think it kind of goes the other way, in my opinion, because these lawsuits are being filed to challenge what are legitimate executive functions. And then the administration is going to respond and say, we don't think the judiciary really has any role here at all, let alone trying to broad brush stop these policies. So I do think it's a separation of powers issue, but I think that both sides have their position. But the administration didn't necessarily start this in terms of bringing the lawsuits.
At the end of the day, we're going to get a decision on the extent of the president's powers. That's basically it. And he goes to the Supreme Court, right?
That's exactly what does need to happen. And I think that there needs to be a strong message about the extent of that. But the problem is that there is a lot of analysis that goes into the end and beginning of those powers.
The chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, that would be Chuck Grassley. He's going to hold a hearing on federal judges blocking Trump's policies. Do the powers of the district court judges need to be reined in your opinion?
Well, I think it needs to be looked at on a case-by-case basis. But for instance, in the case that with the Alien Enemies Act, when there's an arguable position that the president is exercising, especially, national security powers, foreign policy powers, that needs to be respected by these courts. So I certainly think that there needs to be a reckoning in that respect when there's issues brought to these courts that really they have no business meddling in.
Trump's cracking down on top law firms. And now some of those law firms are refusing to represent Trump's opponents. I mean, clearly they've been intimidated. What do you think of that?
Well, a lot of these companies spent exceptional efforts trying to keep Trump out of office, and they seem somehow surprised that they're not favored by the administration at this point. So I certainly think that President Trump has certain personal gripes to pick with some of the conduct of these law firms. And again, there's not a lot of loyalty amongst lawyers sometimes, so I'm not surprised to see that there's been kind of a acquiescence to some of that from these other firms.
Have we ever seen anything like this before? I don't think that he's going to war with the legal establishment or the legal institutions, but he's certainly putting a great deal of pressure onto our court system. And I don't think we've seen that before.
Well, he was put through the ringer, and in many ways, the legal system was very much weaponized against him, and that's from like an objective standpoint. So I think his response here shouldn't be surprising to anybody, and it takes a lot of hypocrisy for some of these companies and law firms to suggest that they're, he's weaponizing the system when they went very far astray from what other people would have thought was appropriate to keep him out of office.
Who could forget the lawfare that was waged against Trump before he became president second time around? You can't forget that. I mean, they dragged the New York legal system into disrepute. That's my opinion.
That's exactly right, and that's what this is in response to in large part, and I think that there's legitimacy to that.
Got it. Katie, thanks very much for joining us. We always appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.